Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Wilder Side. I'm Alara Wilder, and today I have part 2 of our Preptober series. Last week I spoke to you about what Preptober is, what NaNoWriMo is, and I'm not going to bore you with all that sort of stuff this week as well, but if you are interested, check in the card up there, and I'll link to I'll also put a link in the down there if the up there doesn't work. This week, what I plan to do is introduce you to my story and my characters, or at least some of them, and the setting. Now, I'm going to try not to give spoilers. So I'm only going to give you a bit of a brief overview of the idea that I have, not any of the actions or any of the action that happens along the way, and not any of spoilers, because if I tell you how the story ends, you won't want to buy the book, will you? Behind me, this is actually an imagined scene book. And I'm going to take you into Scrivener now, and you'll be able to see some of the characters and some of the scenes, including this one, and we'll take a little bit of a deeper dive in Scrivener. So, this way, in my manuscript here, you can see the various things I have to do. This is a to-do list. Now, to get to this to-do list, you can see all of it here, but to actually go into the to-do, go here, you can see where I have picked up some issues and put them into the to-do list. This is my basic synopsis. This is my my slightly more extended outline, and this is the original story that I wrote that it's based on. Here we've got Act 1 with various chapters laid out. There's that clock again. Well, that way. Act 2, which is what I'll be working on in Nano, as well as Act 3, which is also what I'll be working in Nano. Now, as I said, I'll take you to some of the places. Now, here we have the Emerald Vale. Emerald Vale is on in a land called the Twin Vales, and the Twin Vales is divided down the centre by a river that is just known as the Great River. And on the western side, how you'll be looking at it, is the Emerald Vale. And it's supposed to be quite almost magical looking, but almost ordinary looking as well. Quite dense undergrowth. There's fireflies, butterflies in every colour, giant trees that kind of resemble, we would call them Moreton Bay figs, but they're fig or ficus trees, and they have big gnarly roots that grow up that, you know, are tall. Well, in this case, as you can see from the picture up there, the roots sometimes grow and make archways and walkways things. So further west you go in this land, you're heading up into the mountains, mountains that have snow on the top, snow that comes lower down winter, but not all the way down to the river. And at the time that the story is written, the season is spring. Goodness me. This is also the home of the unicorn. Now, I know. You might think, unicorns, are we 5? No, we are not. We are many times 5. However, the unicorns in my story are able to human form, and they live separate to their deadly enemy who lives on the opposite side of the Great River. And my backstory is a war that happened 1,000 years ago, which is the reason why unicorns and pegasi not being seen in realm. Now, another landscape feature that does pop up in here is called the Great Cascade. The Great Cascade is a series of waterfalls that stretch from so high in the sky they disappear into like a thick purple mist. The water cascades down these giant waterfalls. Some of the rocks are flat, some of the lower down ones, and some of the medium sort of height ones can be reached by the unicorn, who can't fly, obviously. But there are trails and switchbacks and secret passageways behind waterfalls which will let them traverse some of waterfall, but not all. All of those scenes, all of those places, Scarlet Vale, the Emerald Vale, Great Cascade, feature in Act 1 of. In Act 2 takes place in the human realm. So not in the, whatever you would call it, the magical realm anymore. They're in the human realm. And I have not yet put up any pictures of the human realm. Here we go. This is Rose Gold. She is queen of the unicorns. This is what she looks like in human form. This is what she looks like in equine form. As I said, they can move backwards and forwards. You have to imagine that that beautiful chestnut Arabian has a unicorn horn. Okay, this is her mate and herd protector of Queen's herd. This matador, and this is what he looks like in unicorn form. Then I have, you can see minor characters. If I go down and have a look here, there are a lot of other characters that are mentioned but only briefly featured in here, and then dependent on how their story evolves, some of the hunters are going to get their own larger character profiles. Some of them aren't, just because if they feature in the story, I want to be able to make them unique rather than just another chick who's supposed to be a horse carrying a crossbow. We see them every day. So to give you an idea of what the character sheets look like, now I've paired out or cut out a lot of things that I would use if they're just humans, because for a person who spends the large majority of the horse form on all fours, they don't carry boom boxes and stitch cross stitch. Okay, so this is fairly basic. Rose gold. Date of birth is indeterminate. I would imagine in human form, she looks like a woman who could be in her late 20s, possibly in her 30s, possibly even in her 40s, with some good skincare routines. So I didn't put a date of birth because, you know, horses, they're not like dogs. So giving an actual age or a date of birth is kind of irrelevant. It doesn't really matter how old they are. She was born in the Emerald Vale. Her father, who was the previous herd protector, appears as an elderly man. He will get his own character sheet as we go on, but he spends most of his time in human form looking after the gardens. So you can see I haven't filled out everything, but every single one of them, the one where they're in horse form is blank. That's just simply there so that I can see the horse picture. I know some people like to have fully developed characters and know everything what their meal was the minute before, the second before they step into the story. But as I said in my last video, I like to have a plan. I want the characters to tell their own story. So when we are, when I am writing, okay, we're up to chapter 10, and I have the brief synopsis, the brief, the overarching item of what is going to happen in this chapter in here, which can also be seen if you click on Act 2. You can see it written there. Okay, you click on it, it will appear here, but you can only edit that little bit. You can't write the chapter, so you need to go to the chapter. What you can also do is split your screen, and you can move this around. And in the bottom, and these are some of the scenes that I have started expanding on, so that when I start writing, I will have those notes which are here. Okay, that's that there. I will have those notes ready for me to start writing, referring back to them. Some of it will be a copy and paste because I'll go, I just like the way that's written. Others will be, Al, what were you thinking? Let's just fix that up. So that's one way that you can have it set up. You don't have to do it that way. You can click this button and that whole bottom section goes away. It is very, very simple. You can also, if I look at the camera, even get rid of your synopsis and stuff and start. If you are a total pantser, you can just start typing. Okay, you don't have to look at anything as a reference. Start typing. Me, I want to have that my story on. So that's all I've got for you today. I look forward to seeing you next week, part 3. And in the meantime, stay calm, stay wilder.